It's the Creative Boom podcast, and I'm your host, Katie Cowan. I'm diving straight into episode 46 with Dani Molyneux, a typographic artist and designer based in Manchester. Dani is the founder of Dotto, a design studio she launched 4 years ago to specialise in brand identity, working with clients in the arts and culture sector, as well as with conscious brands and corporates breaking the status quo. Dani's always had a passion for editorial and type-led design and has increasingly moved in that direction, particularly in the last year as the impact of the pandemic gave her the time and space to step back and focus her business more on what she loves the most. As such, Dani now also creates bespoke type art with prints available via her online shop. I especially love Take Up More Space, which hangs proudly in my own home and is a typical example of her meaningful artworks, always with a play on language. In 2017, she co-launched Ladies Wine Design in Manchester, aka Jessica Walsh's non-profit venture, which she co-managed for 3 years, and that's how I actually met Dani. Since then, she's co-founded a new project called The How, which offers advice and guidance to creatives through interesting talks and workshops. As anyone will know in Manchester, Dani is a local positive force and one that does so much to uplift others. She's also someone I'm proud to call a friend. But before we begin our chat, let me say thanks to our sponsor Shillington, the original graphic design bootcamp. Since 1997, its innovative approach to education has helped students achieve award-winning portfolios and land incredible jobs in a seriously short amount of time. From its campuses in New York, London, Manchester, Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane, and now online. We'll be hearing from one of Shillington's teachers later in the show. Until then, here's my chat with Dani. Hi Dani, welcome to the Creative Boom podcast.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Now I think before we go any further, we have to sort of confess, don't we? We are good friends in real life.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
we are.
Unfortunately, you have to hang around with me on a daily basis. But we do know each other, but that's not why you're here. Because, you know, there's just so much going on that I just really wanted to sort of talk about your career so far and what you're up to. But before all that, I mean, we met at Ladies Wine Design in Manchester.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We grabbed you quite quickly to do one of our sessions. I think it was...
we did.
I think it was one on... What was it? It was... I can't remember what it was, actually. It was either confidence or... Oh, no, it was selling yourself or something like that, wasn't it?
I think it was selling yourself, yeah.
Art of promotion, that was it. Self-promotion.
And it was interesting because I hadn't really done a lot of kind of talks up to that point, and any that I had done, I didn't really have much experience for. I didn't really feel like I had much to sort of give. But when I went to that, and it was so intimate and lovely, and it was just a room full of women, I just felt really comfortable. I felt like it was, you know, kind of a space where I belonged. And so for me, it just felt very natural to talk about, you know, marketing, I guess.
That was one of my favourite things about doing those, actually, because they did tend to be fairly small groups, and it was quite easy to get sort of, you know, that feeling of relaxed. And we used to get quite a lot of people coming by themselves as well. So having a sort of smaller space where people can connect with each other is really helpful.
Yeah, and seeing kind of, I suppose, people like yourself, really, who are doing very similar things. I don't think I appreciated until I met you, actually, just how important it is to have that kind of network of creative people.
Yeah, well, same. I mean, it was totally the same for us. We started it. I'm really, really terrible with dates, so I'm going to just guess at about 4 years ago or 3 or 4 years ago. But we were absolutely the same. You know, we didn't have a big network. We didn't have any of those things sort of in place, and it didn't feel like it would be that important either. But I don't know, it sort of quickly becomes apparent that it is, and it, like you say, it's just about connecting with other people, or just conversations and kind of, I don't know, knowing that you're not going mad, or helping each other out with issues. It could be issues at work, or it might be nothing about that. It might just be sort of different things you're going through at different times, all of those things. But
I can't believe how long I kind of just, you know, held all of that kind of burden and all the kind of problems of being a freelancer or growing an agency. Can't believe I kind of like just kept it all on my own shoulders. You know, okay, I had my husband, Tom, and, you know, when you run a business with your husband, you've obviously got that confidence in him. But sometimes you just need to sort of step away and have other people to share ideas with, or say, oh, this happened with a client. I don't know what to do. Or, oh, did you see that talk? Wasn't that interesting? I found it really interesting about that. And I'd never really sort of appreciated how important it is to have that. So you kind of brought that to my world, you know, through Ladies Wine Design. And to loads of people actually that I talk to, you know, everybody I sort of mention you to, they're always, you know, their eyebrows raised, they always immediately smile and sort of say, you know, oh, Dani's fantastic, she's great at kind of, she's like, you know, the glue that brings us all together and makes us stick. No, I'm going to embarrass you, but it's true. And then, you know, you did that for 3 years and gave so much to the creative community, and often, well, most times not getting paid for it, just doing it for, you know.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like I'm some sort of saint or something, which is clearly like not true. But it's not just, I guess for me, it wasn't just about this thing about, I'm not just trying to sort of like just give back and like, oh, I'm just trying to help people. It's not like that. It's kind of, it was more about seeing changes as well, and being a support network, not just for everybody, but for myself as well. So it's not this kind of pure selfless thing that, you know, like, oh, I just want everybody to be all right. It's more like I want to work in an industry where people support each other, and that's the normal. And I want people to be able to, especially if you're freelancing and you're working by yourself, I want there to be this kind of network where you're not competing with each other and it's horrible. I don't want it to be like that. So it isn't me just trying to go, it's more like I want everything to work in a slightly different way. And it was a lot of work, which is ultimately why we've, you know, moved on. But it was totally worth it. It was totally worth it. And we met such an amazing bunch of people. Yeah, it was great. We got a load of stuff out of it.
And you learned a lot from it as well. And you know, because I suppose it would have pushed you out of your comfort zone on a few occasions.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the main thing. It's one of those things. I'm one of those people that I never think I can do anything, but I don't want to not do anything, if that makes sense. So with Ladies Wine and Design, like I started that. Danielle Gabry actually started it, and she was going to quit because it was too much work. And she sent an email out and said, oh, does anyone want to take over this? And I remember looking at the email and going, oh my God, I could do that. No, I couldn't do that. There's no way I could do that. I could do that. No, I couldn't do that. And then I just emailed and went, I'll do that. And she's like, okay, brilliant. And we ended up doing it together. But I think that's kind of how I do everything. You know, like, I can't do that. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do it anyway. And all of those things, like, I hadn't put an event on. I didn't know how to get in touch with people. You know, we sort of just made it up. And I guess that's how everybody approaches everything, really, that you just have to sort of go for it and kind of figure it out as you go. And we made loads of cock-ups and, you know, loads of things on the way. But we just managed to get it working better and, learned loads of stuff, basically. So... yeah,
that's super positive. That's brilliant.
It was good. It was really good. You catch me at the right time, because there'd be some times when I'd be like, why the hell am I doing this? This is just ridiculous. It's taking
why did I put myself through this?
Yeah.
I'm going through that myself at the moment. I'm selling some things on eBay and it's like, why didn't I just donate them to a charity? I forget every single time that eBay is just painful.
I can't do eBay. I just can't make eBay work now.
Can you please send me the dimensions for the chair? Like 5 times. By the way, I noticed you're selling your shelves, but we saw that you have some Technics decks on top. Can you tell me if they're being sold? Yeah. Yeah. The problem is, I suppose, when we do sort of start these things, we may be a little bit, we'll understand that there's going to be some hard work involved and there'll be some ups and downs. But sometimes I suppose we don't appreciate how much work these things take.
Yeah. That's so true. But then I guess that's why you do them, because then you figure it out. And there's loads of stuff we figured out actually as well that I'm a sort of person that makes extra work for themselves. So it's kind of figuring out how to work a bit smarter as well, and also to ask for help. That's one thing that I've got a lot better at. I'd really sort of take stuff on, like just myself, and you just don't need to do that. And that's another good thing about things like, having a bit of a community around you, is you draw on everybody else's strengths and kind of the things that you're not so great at, or you don't have time for. You can work with other people. So it's kind of remembering all of those things as well.
Definitely. And I think, I don't know if you kind of resonate with this, but I've spent a lot of my career beating myself up over the things that I'm not good at, but not really sort of putting enough energy into the things that I am good at. And I think maybe out of fear of, maybe a little bit of worrying that, oh gosh, if I sort of celebrate my strengths, does that make me egotistical? Does it make me big-headed? Oh no, I'll just try and be humble. And then you start being self-deprecating and,
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's a really hard habit to get out of. And I've kind of been thinking about that quite a lot recently as well, because you wonder how you sort of get to that point. Because if you think about yourself, well, I can't speak for you, but if you think about yourself as like a kid, and I can see that when I watch my daughter, for example, my daughter's 8, and when I watch how she is, like she's super confident and, like in her ability of the things that she knows she's good at and stuff like that. And I think, I remember being like that. And I wonder how long it takes, like as you go through life, it sort of gets chipped out of you a little bit.
Yeah.
So then you're sort of trying to get it back in. And it's sort of a shame, really, because like that's what I mean. You don't start off feeling like that. It kind of, it's things that happen, or, like, I don't know, work environments or school environments, whatever it is, that sort of slowly tells you that you're not capable of certain things, or you might not be good enough. Like you learn that as you go. It's not great. So it's like unlearning that stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think when I think of myself as 6 years old, I mean, I remember being stood in a playground in Leighton Buzzard, and I was, about 6 years old. And you'll laugh when you hear this story, Dani, because you know me very well. And I was stood, and I'd managed to sort of organise a game with all the other kids, and I was the boss, right? And
Of course.
Of course. And they were all delighted, naturally. And it was, what time is it, Mr. Wolf? And they loved me because I was like very theatrical and a drama queen. I was like, well, I'll be the wolf and you can all be my victims. And off I went and marched to the wall, and you face the wall, and the children all sort of go in a line, if nobody knows this game, and they all have to sort of try and creep forward and touch the wall before I catch them as the wolf, because they'll go, what time is it, Mr. Wolf? And I'll go, 3 o'clock. So they can move forward 3 paces or something like that. And I was fantastic. I was absolutely wonderful. And it was my counsellor actually who said, who were you when you were 6? Because you need to tap back into that, because that's exactly what happens to us as we go through life. We have all these things that happen, and they just chip away at our true selves and our confidence. And it's an awful thing, but
I know. It's not great, but I don't know, when you sort of realise that, it's a bit better. And it's really clear with like just even things like if I watch like my daughter Daisy, if I watch her draw something, for example, and I'll say like, oh, draw a dragon or whatever, and she'll just do it. Make it do this, make it do that. And there's no sort of thought behind. And I know that obviously has to change when like you're a creative person for a living. You've got to think about stuff. But it's the way that, like without overanalyzing or thinking about what anyone's going to think, all those things, she just draws a dragon. And I don't know, there's something that really nice about that, I think, that...
Yeah, there's no kind of preconception, is there? There's no expectations weighing heavily on her shoulders. She's just making a dragon and she's enjoying the process and she's not overthinking it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like we spend our whole lives forgetting that wonderful feeling. And then we get to our, later on in life, some of us realize it faster than others. But we, in my sort of case, get to my 40s and clearly have that kind of penny drop moment where I'm like, oh, okay, I can get back to that. I just have to sort of let go of all these kind of narratives that have just kind of steered me here, there, it's
Yeah, it happens. It's like for so many people, isn't it? It's just the way it goes.
It's quite a normal thing to be human.
I know.
So let's go back. I want to know about where you how you got into graphic design and where it sort of all began for you.
Yeah, it's so random. I really wasn't into graphic design specifically when I was growing up or anything like that. I was just really into art, really into music, and really into fashion. And I would be drawing all the time. I always had a sketchbook, like anyone. I was obsessed with it. I just wanted to do something arty for ages. That's all I wanted to do. And then I can't remember how old I was, maybe like 14 or 15, but I started getting really into fashion design, and I kept this, I wish I could find it because it's so bad, but I had this sketchbook thing, which I used to just do fashion designs like all the time. It was so big. Like my mum did find it a while ago, and I think I was embarrassed and just got rid of it, but I really wish I had it. It's really, really 80s as well. I know, I should have kept it. And because of that, like that was my thing. I wanted to be a fashion designer. Or the other thing I'd say was, because I was really into like art, music and theatre and stuff, I'd go, or a costume designer for TV, theatre and film. And that's how I'd say it. Yeah. That's what I wanted to do. So I did my A-levels, and I didn't even want to do my A-levels actually, but I promised my parents that I would do something, like that had a backup, so that I wasn't just doing something for art. I had to do my A-levels as well. And because of that, I did like art, theatre studies and French. So I kept it pretty arty anyway. And then I did my art foundation, and I kept getting put into all these textile classes because I wanted to do fashion, and I was really bad at it. I was just terrible. And I kind of hated it. And I kept trying to make things as well. And I was really bad at that. So I remember this one time, when you have like, I don't know, like we had the sixth form, like disco thing or whatever it was called. And it was a fancy dress. Of course. And I decided to make my own costume because, fashion. And I remember trying to do it, and I was trying to sew it, and I just thought, I can't bloody do this. So I glued it together, this material, and I picked the wrong kind of material as well. So it was like this material that doesn't stretch or give or anything. And I made this green dress. I remember it. And it looked all right, but it was glued together and it wouldn't move. So I had to spend the whole night, one, freaking out that the glue was going to like disintegrate or something. And two, I couldn't sit down or anything because it had no give in the material.
Oh God, Dani.
It was just a disaster. So anyway, I'm doing art foundation. And my tutor's like, well, there are other things, because it hadn't sort of entered my head to be like an artist, like just an art, just because, you're like, I don't know, I was looking for a job. I know that's a job, you know what I'm on about. And my tutor, who was awesome, he sort of introduced me to like the idea of graphic design and VisCom and stuff like that. And he was just brilliant. And he started showing me some of the, like different courses at uni. And that's kind of how I got into graphic design, basically. It was totally by accident. But when I look back at things that I was interested in, like collecting magazines and, music album covers, all of those things, it's always stuff that I was interested in anyway. But it was I was quite a bit of a winding path to find something that that sort of made sense of the skills I had, if you know what I mean. And then, and then I went to Leeds.
And then lovely Leeds Arts Uni.
Yeah, wow. I loved it there. I really loved it.
Oh, I'm so jealous because obviously I went and did journalism, but I was always very creative and always loved art and design. But you're right. It's kind of just, we don't really know what we want to do. We know what we're into. No.
Yeah.
But it takes a kind of, kind tutor or maybe a parent or a friend to sort of maybe say, well, have you thought about this? That's
exactly.
That's lovely to hear. You kind of found your way, and then
in a way.
Yeah.
When it's sort of like something, like I used to just say, something arty, it sort of makes it easy. It sort of makes it easier because there's a path. There's
always a path. Yeah, definitely. I think my mum still got something that I had when I was 6, and it was a short story. And she said, I was always writing. I was always like making up stories. And
there
then
you go.
when I got older, I was like making magazines. And then when my dad got a PC, I was like using that, God knows what the program was called, but you could do a sort of mock-up of a newspaper page. And I used to do that all the time and just make up stories.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I do think for a lot of us, it does show, you know, when you're a kid, what you're kind of, you know, there's hints at what you're going to end up doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you think Daisy will go down that path of creativity? Do you think she's going to follow in your footsteps?
I don't know, actually, because she is very, very creative. But not like me, she's massively, massively into computer games, and she's obsessed with Minecraft.
Oh.
And that's just not my cup of tea at all. But the only reason I don't mind so much, you know, like some of the excessive screen time is because Minecraft, it's like Lego online. So she'll just shout me and she's like, hey, do you want to see this house I've built? I'm like, yeah, okay. She goes, I've made this Japanese spa on the ground floor because I thought you'd like that. And then if you go through here, and it's like this massive, massive, like flipping amazing world that she's built. And I'll go, how did you figure out how to do that? And she went, I just watched a YouTube tutorial. I was like, right, okay.
8 years old.
Yeah. So now we're like, oh, maybe she's going to be like a coder, or I don't know. I don't know what the heck she's going to be. But she's definitely creative, but more kind of, I think, practical in like spatial awareness and things like that.
Oh, how interesting. Well,
Yeah.
if she is interested, if you think that's a kind of route she could go down, my husband Tom is a software developer, as you know. He has a couple of recommendations in terms of books or sort of puzzles that,
wicked.
you know, you could sort of give to get her and see how she fares with those, because she could start to learn now, you know. That's the amazing thing about it.
Let's make her a
take over the
child.
world. Make her a prodigy.
I know. I had to stop because at the beginning of the pandemic, when obviously everyone's watching too much screens, and she told me she wanted to be a YouTuber, I was like, oh God, I'm not sure about
Oh no.
I'm not sure about
Can
that.
you imagine?
Anyway, it's not to me, is it? So
No, yeah, but that, you know, that is amazing, and we'll come on to Japan in a minute. But so you went to London. You went down the traditional route and went to London for a job, and you were there for a good few years, weren't you? What was it
about
like?
4 years. It's about 4 years, and it was that thing again when I don't think this is the case now, but I think at the time there were less opportunities up north. So, and I wasn't tied to anywhere specifically. So I was just looking for design jobs sort of anywhere really. And I was really lucky. I just happened to get my first job in London, and I got it pretty quickly after graduating. It was a really good place. You know, it was so like just really nice people as well. And especially my first experience of London, I flipping loved it because I'm from St Helens. It's a small town, and suddenly I'm in this big, massive city. And I do things like every lunch break, I would go and see a site. So I'd be like on the tube, you know, like on the dot, and then I'd be like texting. Well, did I have a phone? I don't know, but you know, like I'm at the Tower Bridge, like get really, really ridiculously excited. Oh, I'm in Soho.
No, that's great.
Because I worked in Victoria, so it was really handy to get to loads of places. Or I'd just walk up the road and I'd be at Buckingham Palace. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm at the Queen. So
hi, Queen.
That's what I was like. I was like a ridiculously overexcited kid, and all of the people I worked with, I felt like I was a bit of a northern pet. So, you know, they would all be like, oh, Dani, eight, like that when they were talking to me.
They
got
like to sort of mock your accent.
Yeah, so a slight twang of a Scouse accent. And they were, so that's what I get. Or I'd be saying things like, I'd have a cup of tea, and like a cup of tea in London is not the same as a cup of tea.
No.
Here, like it doesn't taste right. I think it's the water.
It's the
water. So I remember saying that, and they were like, don't be ridiculous. You know, it's just ridiculous. So it was a bit, you know, there was that. But then, so the beginning of London was really, really good. But the downside of London was I was completely broke. And my wages sort of didn't really stack up to living.
Yeah, so that's kind of standard, isn't it, really?
Yeah, exactly. So I think you've either got to really you've got to be ready to kind of get through that, or I just sort of
live in a shitty part of London where you're sort of in a basement flat and you get visited by resident nightly guests.
Yeah, we had a basement flat in Finsbury Park, and it had rats, it had damp, it had.
We've all been there.
We got broken into. Yeah, it was good.
Did you have did you have a specific towel that would you'd keep so you could wipe away the kind of green moss from the wall and then put it in a wash and have it ready for the next day?
I didn't have a specific towel, no, but that does sound like a good idea. Oh, it's funny. There used to be this thing, Finsbury Park's really nice now. That's where I used to live.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really nice. But again, you just read the news and it was man pushed under tube rails at Finsbury Park. Person stabbed at Finsbury Park. I'd be like, oh, well.
Did it used to be a bit rough then? I didn't know that.
I think it depends which bit you lived in.
Oh, okay.
And again, come from a small town, so it's
all new and exciting and
yeah. It was always fine. I just run home from the tube, keys in my hand and leg it. But it was always fine. I
was always especially if I was stoned, I should probably not mention that, but I was always so paranoid. And what I would do back then in the sort of late 90s, early 2000s, was I'd wear my baggy skateboard jeans and my big sort of hooded jacket, and I would put that up and I'd have a cap on as well, and I'd have all my keys in between my fingers in both hands. So I'd just be walking home super paranoid, crossing the road whenever possible. And
I used to like it if I had big boots on as well. That used to make me feel better.
Steel toe.
Because I don't know what I would do with them. I'm really short.
We're similar age, aren't we? We went through the same kind of grunge phase, didn't we? And
exactly. Yeah. Green Doc Martens, etc.
Yeah, I had army boots and, the little flowery dresses. And once when I was rebelling against my parents, I kicked my foot on the bedroom wall and it went right through.
Oh, God. Oh, I used to love that look. I used to love that. My Green Doc Martens and little dress, whatever. And I had 9-inch nails in silver pen.
Yes.
Written on them. Oh, my God, I thought it was so cool.
I used Tip-X. I wasn't as cool as you. I had Tip-X and I had FNM, sorry, I can't spell. Faith No More. What else? Oh, I think I put 666 on them as well. I thought it was really cool.
Oh my God.
Just maybe you would have, if we were friends back then, you would have said, maybe just take the... and I had little bells
sweet
on
times.
them. Oh, do you remember those?
You had bells on them?
Yeah,
no.
so that when I walked, I would just go ding, ding, ding.
Oh no, that passed me by.
Okay, I think you were way cooler than I was. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Sweet nostalgia.
Oh, it's lovely. So you came back home, and did you sort of move back to St. Helens for a bit, or did you?
No. No offence.
No.
No offence, St. Helens.
No.
No, I was living in West Didsbury actually for a bit in a house share. And then, I was working in Alty in a place, and so I was in Manchester for a while, and then I ended up getting I got a job. My last job sort of that I worked before I went freelance was in Liverpool, which was brilliant because I flipping love Liverpool, and I live in Manchester now, but Liverpool's quite close to my heart because as a St. Helens girl, that's where we used to go out, and that was sort of our that was the city we used to go to. So working in Liverpool was really brilliant. I could just, even though it was a bit of a commute, because I don't know, it was getting me back to the city. So I loved it. I loved working.
Liverpool's a great city. People are fantastic. I love it. Scousers are just great fun.
There's a nice vibe in St. Helens. St. Helens, Liverpool. I loved it. So I worked there for about 5 years before I went freelance. And started working for my little old self.
Oh, Tom's got a PS5 at last, and there was this opening thing to the FIFA game, the football game, and it was all based on Liverpool, and they were all singing "We'll never, you'll never walk alone," and the computer game had these crowd shots, and I don't know what was wrong with me, but I just burst into tears and went, oh, and Tom was like, "What's the matter?" Crowd. Oh my God, seeing a crowd!
Honestly, it's seeing a crowd. I keep doing that when I see things on the telly or in a bar. When you see people talking and they're in a bar and there's like a bunch of friends together or something. Yeah. I keep getting upset about that. I'm like, I want to go.
Me too.
Hang out with my friends.
I keep freaking out when I watch I watched Joanna Lumley in Japan. I was just rewatching it, and she was touching people because she's so gorgeous, isn't she? And she was just very tactile and touching people. And I was like, "What are you doing, Joanna?
I know, it's so
you
weird.
Can't do it."
I caught one of those. It was on the other night, just watching so much stuff on telly.
Oh.
But I caught one of those because she was offering the driver in a taxi a sweet, and I was like, "You can't share food.
You can't do
that.
What
are you doing?" I know, how the hell are we going to
pre-pandemic?
move on after this? We're all going to be like really weirded out.
I know. In my podcast with Eric Brandt, he said, "I don't know how we're going to all be after this." And I was like,
weird.
I was like, "What? What do you mean? It'll be fine?" And then I started to think about it, and even just like popping around to drop that stuff off at yours last night, I was like, how do I behave? I don't know how.
No, it's so weird.
I was looking at the floor and looking at the sky, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, and it's ridiculous.
It is really hard just to have basic conversations with people now, I think.
Yeah.
But, you feel really like self-conscious, and I keep making mistakes and things because obviously I'm not really going anywhere, but I'll go and get a takeout coffee and I'm having a really sort of weird stunted conversation with somebody about, and then, you don't quite know when to walk away anymore because I feel like all these social skills are sort of eroding. It's so weird.
We're all a little bit rusty.
Sort of
it's really weird. I left the post office the other day and I held the door open for this woman, and she just stared at me. And I went,
"Do you want to take it off you?"
I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot." And she didn't even say anything. She just stared at me.
She's probably just weirded out as well. It's so weird.
And my brother as I was walking away, I was staring at her going, Yeah, she probably was.
Oh no.
So what happened with your brother?
Oh yeah. My brother was saying to me, right, we've had, as you know, loads, all this happened and everybody's got loads of cancelled things. So one of ours is we had loads of gig tickets for stuff. And one of them was my brother. My brother lives in London now. And he messaged me the other day and he's like, so that gig's apparently still happening in June. So are you up for it? And I was like, well, yeah, but will it actually happen? He's like, I don't know. And then I was like, will we be able to what will it be like? If it is on, will we be in a room of crowded people? And part of me is like, I really, really, really want to go and see some music in a crowd. And the other half of me is like, how the hell are we going to do that? How are we going to be able to stand with people all around you? How are we going to do that without melting down? Even if, it's probably not going to happen, is it? But
no, I think it's going to be weird. I was thinking about this the other day. I'll probably just turn to the person on my right and left and just sort of say, hi.
I know. I feel like I'm just going to be an emotional wreck. just randomly bursting into tears or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Who knows? I guess we'll figure it out.
We will. We'll be fine. And if you want to, I'll come with you on that first step out into the wider world. And because I really want to go dancing. I just really
want to go out. That's what I mean. I really miss going out with my friends and stuff.
And having a random conversation with somebody at the bar. Hi, you all right? You having a good night?
Exactly. Exactly. You forget how much, I don't know how important all that stuff is. And I'm pretty sociable, so I'm kind of I'm fine. It's all really weird, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
I
think it's that year thing, isn't it? So we're all a bit
Yeah, it's been a bit overwhelming, and everyone I've talked to are just knackered. They're just, yeah.
I know, it is just properly
draining.
Yeah. It's tiring. It's boring.
It's so boring.
And that's the other thing. So you're spending half the time going, oh, I'm so grateful because I'm actually in a fortunate position. And then you're like, the other half, you're like, I'm really pissed off. This is really boring. I'm fed up of everything.
Yeah.
And then the other half, you're crying because And then the other half, you're like, no, it's not that bad. Yeah, you're just like that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like
highs and lows.
That's probably why we're tired.
Probably. Right. So you went freelance in 2013 and then you launched Dotto, your studio, in 2017. Tell us more.
Yeah, so it's the same kind of thing where you go, I don't know, I had thought about going freelance before, but again, it's one of those things where I go, oh, I could do that, maybe I could do that, and then you just don't do it. But I've been, I say a break, it wasn't a break, it was on maternity leave, so it wasn't exactly a break, but I'd sort of stepped out of, the kind of, I was doing something different basically, and I'd stepped out of kind of commuting to Liverpool and doing all of those things. And because I'd started thinking about freelancing before, it kind of took the fear away, because it wasn't, there was a natural break, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that's when I started freelancing. And as well, I'd gone to, what's it called? It was a load of design talks somewhere. It was in Dublin. Yeah, I'd gone to these design talks in Dublin, and when you go to design talks and everybody's like, do what you love. Like, go on, follow your heart, do what you love. And everybody does that. And at the end, you're like, yeah. Well, basically, that's what I did. And then I quit my job. And and then I was like, right, I'm going to go freelance. I remember having the conversation and with Robin, like my partner, and he was like, well, what if you don't get any work? And I just went, yeah, well, I will. And it was like, that was it. I just,
brilliant.
After sort of faffing around for ages and sort of going, oh, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that, I don't know. And then it's like something clicked and went, oh yeah, I'm going to do that and it's going to be fine. So it's weird how, I don't know, maybe sometimes it's about when the right time is, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we all go through that process. Some of us are forced into it. A lot of people will have been forced into it in the last year, people who've been on the sort of fence.
Oh God, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I was quite lucky because I was making that decision. And I don't know if that's harder or not, because you've got to force yourself to make the decision. But then I was really sure about it. So that was fine. And I was freelancing in studios. So I did that for quite a long time. I'd just work in sort of in-house at different agencies. Yeah. And I found that actually quite easy to get work. I was able to do that because I had a lot of experience and I knew quite a few people. So I could kind of keep that going. But the downside of that was just that I wasn't able to create a portfolio of work properly. And I wanted to work for myself, if you know what I mean. I wanted to build up my own client base. I wanted to explore my own work and that kind of thing. So that was actually the hardest. That was the harder thing to do because obviously then you've got to try and build up clients that just want to work with you specifically. And it's a different kind of sales thing. So it was a harder transfer and I did it quite slowly. I was doing a bit of both. So it's going to be like, Dotto is going to be 4.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I did it. And I guess some of the work that I was getting, I'd built up some relationships with some of those people already. So I'd had starting points and that kind of thing. And then a lot of it is word of mouth. A lot of it was, I got work actually through people I met at Ladies Wine and Design and through other things. Initially, I started going to sort of really, like normal networking groups, but they were just horrendous. Oh, no. So I just, it was awful.
Was it a bit like Clubhouse?
I don't know. Well, maybe where everyone's sort of shouting and sort of telling you what they're good at and not really listening. Yeah. It was a bit like that, yeah. It was definitely a bit like that. Oh. And then at the end of it, you go through all this pain. At the end of it, somebody would come to you and go, oh, actually, Dani, my dad wants a business card designing. And I'd be like, yeah, that's not really what I'm hoping for. So basically, I kind of
You know what you should have done? You should have just turned around and not replied and walked up to the nearest wall and then just slowly banged your head against it.
Yeah, and he's like, and he's got a £10 budget, and you know what I mean. So even though it's not easy, what I found was networking when you don't know you're networking. Yeah. Like for example, like Ladies Wine and Design is not a networking group. Isn't what it's for. No. That like those things that wasn't the aim of it. But ultimately, when you're meeting a load of people that work in a similar industry and people talk to each other, that is how you get work. So yeah, so that's basically great. Kind of how I got started doing it.
We're now taking a short break to get a word from our sponsor, Shillington, the original graphic design bootcamp, or in this case, some creative advice from one of its teachers at its New York campus. Marcia Decker is an artist, designer and musician originally from Arizona and now based in the Big Apple. I asked Marcia, what should designers bear in mind when going to job interviews?
Be as prepared as possible. I think designers like to pretend that we're not verbal communicators, that we're more visual kinds of people. But of course, how you sell your work is just as important as how the work actually looks. So definitely take your time to practice, even in front of a mirror, of how you're going to speak to your projects, because there's nothing more disappointing than seeing a stunning piece of work, but not understanding the full story or the process or how you think, because you can't adequately communicate it verbally. So definitely put your practice into actually saying these things out loud, kind of anticipating questions that, you get in every single interview, and definitely be prepared to speak to your process, because it's really important to see how you think just as much as the final product.
To find out more about studying graphic design at one of Shillington's 6 campuses around the world or via its online course, visit shillingtoneducation.com. Now, back to Dani. Well, business is about people, isn't it? And, you're full of charm and personality. Yeah. and people love working with people they like, but you were also very talented, Dani. Your work is beautiful, and if you don't mind me saying so, I feel like you've really flourished over the last year. Some people might have really taken this pandemic, quite hard and may have sort of retracted, but you have just sort of bloomed over the last 12 months. I mean, you were killing it before, but you're now just, I've never seen you so confident or happy in what you're doing.
It's so weird. I think people react differently at different times. And I think sometimes it takes something to give me a bit of a kick up the backside. And one of the things about the pandemic, I guess, was, I don't know, I feel like I waste a lot of time like faffing around or overthink things a lot. Yeah. And so there was something about, and actually I don't, like with the pandemic, like I've been doing homeschooling as well. Yeah. So I don't really know what, I don't really know how I sort of found the time to do stuff. But I guess part of it was taking the faff out and taking the overthinking and doing some crap. And actually, initially as well, the first thing that happened is, like half my client work just dropped down a flipping hole because, I work a lot with theatres and arts orgs and stuff. So as soon as March hit, everything just disappeared. Oh. And I don't know, I couldn't not do anything. Yeah. So I just started doing more of my own things as well. And that kind of, I think it feeds off each other then. So work can come from that, or I don't know, it sort of it feeds off each other, and I kind of got into it.
I think it gave you time, didn't it? Like a lot of us, it gave you the time and space to take a step back and go, okay, I've done really well. This is where I'm up to, but this is actually kind of what I would like to do more of in future. And how can I sort of actually, I've been doing a bit of this, doing a bit of that, and like anyone to kind of, make money and survive. But can I possibly turn this around and, move my business in a different direction where I'd be sort of, doing more of the kind of work that I really love?
Yeah, there was definitely that. And I think as well, I started to look at things that maybe I didn't want to do as well. So, and that actually helped. So I think I've said it before, but I've always been someone that says yes a lot and tries to do, to do everything. Yeah. And because of this, sort of you physically can't do that. So you've got to say no to some things. But I started looking at bits of my work as well and go, what would a what would I like to take out and what would I like to do more of. And it made it a bit clearer for me as well. So
yeah, and it's really
it's kind of finding that balance and
I mean it's
sort of sticking to it.
It's so scary letting things go, and we sometimes find ourselves, not that I'm saying that this happened to you. Oh, thank God that car alarm stopped.
I know
this is the thing, the new way of working.
It's really alarmy
isn't it?
around
Working
here.
from
There's always
home.
an alarm going off.
Same here. But so I think it's not discrediting the work or the experience you've had up until this point. It's just that as creatives, there's always going to be some kind of work that we are more passionate about compared to the rest.
Absolutely.
And for you, it's typography and the focus on words.
I do really like it.
Oh, you love it.
I do, yeah. And again, it's not really new, is it? I mean, like
No.
graphic designers work with type. It's not like it's groundbreaking, but it's one of the things that when I look back at all of my work, it makes sense, that's kind of where I've always focused really. And so I guess it's kind of looking at two ways of doing that. So, sort of one, how to be more playful and do things that are more experimental, and two, how to bring that into the more kind of, brand identity work or slightly more corporate work, that kind of thing. And the two can sit hand in hand, but it was kind of focusing what it was really, I guess. And
that's great. I mean, I think it's really wonderful, because once you realize what it is that you are and what you're great at and what you want to do, the rest just falls into place. It's like amazing. It all just sort of clicks in your head. You're just like, oh, that is my calling. And then
it does feel a bit more like that. Yeah.
The beauty of that is that sorry, I'm getting quite passionate. It's because I've been on a very similar journey, and you know that personally. But everything then that follows, it's just... So in your case, you found that by doing that, by saying you specialise in these things, you have become a go-to specialist in that field. And therefore, you're commanding bigger projects and getting really interesting opportunities land on your doorstep, and you're thriving, and it's just wonderful.
Well, I guess I keep saying I guess, don't I? But it's sometimes you just got to say some words, don't you, to kind of, it's like you just sort of got to say things out loud.
Definitely.
And also I think a lot of it is about tuning out a load of negativity as well. Yeah. So one of the things, and I know that I do this, but I know that I'm not alone in this, is you really sort of focus a lot. If you've heard something negative, or, you sort of go, oh yeah, but I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that can kind of be a bit debilitating. And when you sort of start tuning all that crap out and kind of focusing more on things that are going well, or things that are going right, or the things that you are better at or that you enjoy, and tuning out the stuff that, like you say, you don't want to do or you're not as good at, it's kind of way better and it's more fun. Yeah,
definitely. And you open up all this space in your mind and your life for all this good stuff to rush in. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and then also then you work with other people that have the skills that you don't have, and then you get to do something else awesome because, those skills blend. And I'm a big fan of collaboration.
And it's great to see that you've just been able to sort of let something go and then start something new. And you've also really started pushing more your shop, your typographic prints. They're just fantastic. I love the take up more space, which is looking at me right now directly in my dining room. I love the sentiment behind that. That has really, for me, sums up a lot of what you have just been talking about, and how I've been feeling in the last sort of 12 months. I suppose it's about not being ashamed to sort of put our hands up or know that we deserve a place on that table just as much as everyone else. It's wonderful.
I think that resonates with a lot of people, mainly, and it was originally for the new art school rules. exhibition, and it was about what advice would you give to your former self if you were at art school again. And it's sort of like, it was just really obvious, because it's that thing. And again, when I talk about how, you know, things change as you get older, and it's not just women at all, but, you know, it is predominantly girls a lot of the time. Although again, you know, not always.
Yeah.
But you do get taught to kind of keep yourself sort of, you know, like neat and quiet, and you know, like not too much of this, not too much of that, and kind of, exactly. And that is just how it's what happens. So I think when it, you know, like, that's the thing. If I was going to go back, that's what I'd shout in my face really, really loud. To be like, to kind of embrace all of those things about you much more.
Because
and kind of,
we're just, there's so many messages that we're bombarded with, the way the kind of the world is as well. They're also, some of them are so invisible. We don't even really sort of know that they're there until in hindsight we look back and go, gosh.
Exactly. All
the things that have happened to us, you know, just last week with everything that was happening with Sarah. And you just start to think, God, we do have a lot of work.
Oh, I know. I've had to switch off half of everything at the moment.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah, there's just too much of everything. Everything's
too much.
It's too much. But that's the thing, it's too much.
It is. But we, you know, it's also that Morag Myerscough poster that I've got, you know, next to yours, which says "I have the power." I feel like it's got.
Oh yeah, I love that.
It's got the same sentiment, and I know Morag won't mind me sort of saying we talked about this a little bit off mic, and how, like, you know, we do face these struggles as women, but you know, the positive thing to take out of it is that we're starting to, you know, I'm not saying we collectively, but I'm starting to realise the power I have, and that I don't need permission, or I don't have to be a certain way. I can just be me, and it's absolutely fine. And I think you've gone through something similar yourself, and I think a lot of other...
Yeah, it's like having little pep talks with yourself every 5 flipping minutes, isn't it? You go, you sort of, you might be a little bit like beaten down, and then you have a little rest or whatever. But you can't, like, I mean, this is one of the things, like, you can't just like lie down and kind of die. You know, you've got to like just crack on and kind of...
Yeah, I suppose...
Yeah, and do stuff and change things and
make the world a better place, and also not feel apologetic for standing up and saying, "Hi, I'm Katie and I'm great."
Yeah, you know? And also, like, you can't have, like, people aren't going to like you all the time. No. You know, like, or whatever work you do, whatever, you can't be like, well, there might be like, I don't know, like one person or something that's universally loved or whatever it is, but you've just kind of got to do what you're doing and just get on with it.
Yeah, don't worry about the naysayers and just do what you love and believe in yourself and believe in your work, and the rest will sort of fall into place. So with that sentiment, you've grabbed with both hands your love of Japan, and you've got this beautiful...
Oh, bloody love Japan.
Oh, God, I could talk about it forever. Have you seen my attic that I'm doing up?
Well, not in real life. No, I've seen some...
no, I've sent you pictures.
It looks very zen.
I got some gorgeous soy wax candles from the Woodspring Company. They're based in Cheshire.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my goodness. So sustainable. And then I've treated myself to a gorgeous little wooden vase from Selwyn House. Actually, the people who are behind that, Sean and Ellie, they both went to Leeds as well. So that's pretty cool.
I love Leeds so much. It was ace.
Oh, do you know, I do sometimes regret where I went to university, but then I found out one of my...
Where did you go?
I went to the University of Central Lancashire. But then, But then I found out the other day that one of my actor heroes, Don Warrington, went to Preston. So I thought, oh, it's not so bad.
Yeah, loads of awesome designers went to Preston as well.
Did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's got a good art school.
Well, it was a long time when I graduated in 2007. No, what am I talking about? I graduated in 2000. Gosh, Dani, I forget how old I am. But anyway, maybe I just didn't have a good experience, but I don't think it was the university's fault. Anyway,
No, I flipping loved it. I loved uni. It was brilliant.
Oh, you're really lucky. If I could go back and do it again, I would. Oh, I'd really embrace it and study this time. So the Japan series,
Oh yeah.
absolutely love it.
Cheers.
It's been going really well, hasn't it? You've been getting lots of orders and lots of interest.
So with the Japan stuff, I mean, again, the main reason for setting up the shop, well, obviously, you know, it'd be really nice if, you know, just it sold loads of stuff and I was just rich. But the main reason for setting up the shop was so I could sort of be a bit more experimental with stuff as well, and kind of do some work that is just, you know, like it's just focused on sort of my own head pouring out. So with like the city ones, specifically the Japanese ones, I've kind of had them in my head for ages, and I wanted to kind of merge like sort of type with really simple graphic imagery, and I think that's what I'm trying to like condense like the feeling of a place. It sounds so weird, but like the feeling of a place into like these few little things. So you can kind of, you know, like, I don't know, when you go somewhere, like every time I go somewhere new, this is what I mean. This is why I'm missing travel. I know that's completely privileged, but I am really missing it. And one of the things that I really love about going to a new place is when you turn up and like you're on the streets of somewhere new and you kind of take it all in and you like look up at all the buildings and there's like different sounds. You look at the signage, you look at, well, if you're a designer, you look at the signage and the colours of the place and, you know, the sunshine and all of those things. And every single time I go somewhere, I feel like you absorb all of this stuff. And what I used to do is just note things down. I've had them for years in a little sketchbook of just colours or photographs and stuff like that. And I just wanted to make it into something. So that's basically what those prints are. It's like try to condense this sort of first impression of a place into like the simplest, the simplest thing it can be.
Tokyo lights and Fuji rain, Kyoto rain and
Kyoto rain. So Kyoto rain was the first one I did because when I went to Kyoto, which, oh my God, I bloody loved.
I know.
But when I went there, when we first got there, Robin had massive jet lag. So he just was asleep in the hotel room. And I was like, what? I'm not sleeping.
You've waited your whole life to come here.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, no way. So it was at night and I decided to go exploring. And we were staying in this really crazy hotel that was really 70s. I don't know why that's relevant, but it's just, it was weird. And I set off and I was walking through wherever I was in Kyoto and I didn't know where I was, but I was past this little tiny shrine. And it was all glowing. It was just gorgeous. And it was absolutely chucking it down. It was like complete sheet rain. And I was stood, I didn't have an umbrella or anything. And I was just stood like watching this like red glowing little shrine. And it was just, it's one of those memories that'll stay in my head for ages because I was staring at it. And I remember thinking, you know, sometimes if you go for a walk in the rain, you're not bothered. It was like that. Yes, I was just stood there and then I walked back and then I like dried my hair in the hotel room and Robin still didn't wake up and I was like, God. So then I went and sat in this 70s bar.
And had a beer.
Watching. Yeah, and it was brilliant. I was people watching. But basically it was like the first night in Kyoto and it was a while ago, but it's just, you know, some places you go to, you just get these really, really vibrant memories from.
Oh, definitely.
And that's why it's super personal because I've only made places that I've been to and have kind of, you know, like got that feeling about.
Yeah, same.
So, yeah, that's kind of, and that's why it's like a personal project as well. So it's a print shop, but it's also, it's like my, like little...
It's perfect though, Kyoto rain. It's perfect because it brings back so many memories for mine and Tom's trip to Kyoto. And it really does sum it up, actually.
A lot of people said it rained when they went. So I don't know whether it's like Manchester, like it just rains all the time.
Maybe we're just drawn to places that are wet. But
weird.
It's so funny. Tom was reminding me last night, and sometimes you can get wrapped up in work, and you might have house renovations, or there might be a pandemic or whatever, and you forget sometimes to breathe, to live, to just savor, to enjoy the moments. And Tom turned to me last night when I was sort of saying to him, and I hope you don't mind, but I've just ordered this lovely little Japanese print, or this little vase where I'm going to put like a single stem of roses in, not roses, cherry blossom or whatever. And he said, do you remember when we went to see that amazing Geiko show in Guyane? And I was like, yeah, it was amazing. It was incredible. He said, that came from a recommendation from a random encounter with an American-Japanese man on the bullet train coming back, going to Kyoto, who just said to Tom, you're reading a book about science. You must be interesting people. And he's then recommended this place. And I was like, oh yes, he was wonderful. And we sat and listened to him, and he had this amazing thick book, which was full of every single timetable and route in Japan. And he had a ruler, and he had like a pen, and he was meticulously going through it. And his mission was to keep coming back to Japan from America. And he was doing these trips on his own to just basically go around and explore the country by train. And he was just crossing out all the different routes that he'd done. Wow. And it's like little memories like that. So looking at that print that you created brings back all these memories of that wonderful, wonderful city.
That's nice.
It's just, it's amazing, isn't it? How a little bit of art can just take you back.
One of the things about this situation, pandemic, blah, blah, destruction, life, is, everybody's thinking about things that they want to do and things. Yeah. And that's what I was doing. I was thinking about, things that I missed and experiences I'd had that I loved, and kind of focusing on those as well. So whether it's places that you've been to, or, like hanging out with your family, hanging out with your friends, stuff like that. So, that's what they were all about.
Do you think that after all of this, when we go back out there and it's back to some kind of normal, that we will cherish those mundane moments, like sitting in a coffee shop in anywhere with the rain pelting against the window? And do you think we'll sort of cherish it, or do you think at some point we'll just start to take it for granted again?
I think, sugar, I've just dropped the microphone. I think I imagine the first thing will be, yes, I think people will be like that, because it's been so long that you won't be able to help sort of take that in and kind of go like, oh my God, it's so nice again. But you're right. The inevitability is that people end up falling back into habits. So I don't know, it kind of feels important that I don't know how you do this, but that we do try to remind people about those things, Yeah. Maybe having extra time out will make people be a bit more sort of grateful about that stuff. I don't know. I think they will at first, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, listen, it's been lovely talking to you, Dani. I can't wait to sort of see you again in person, but this time being able to actually go and do stuff and
gonna go out.
Oh, gonna paint Manchester red.
Something like that.
God, what is that? What is that expression?
I don't know.
Where's it come from?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I like to find out.
I don't know. I'm gonna throw glitter and rice about.
Sustainable stuff, hopefully.
Sustainable glitter.
Yes.
Yeah. No, of course. Of course.
Well, I can't wait to see what you're going to make next. Have you got anything in the pipeline that we should know about?
I'm doing this other thing. Yeah, it's more of my like head. It's about, it'll probably take me about 10 minutes to go into it, so I won't bang on too much. But it's about sort of memories and that kind of stuff, and sort of it's thinking about the things that make yourself you, and kind of there's a lot of people, when we compare ourselves with others and stuff like that, and it's about not doing that and sort of really embracing your own experiences and the things that you're good at and all of those things, and kind of that's what makes you you and all of those things. So yeah, it's a load of stuff about that.
Brill.
Plus some, I've got some other brand identity stuff as well. That's
that new series
that pays the bills.
Yeah, definitely. We always have to think about that. Well, that new series sounds fantastic, and definitely a theme for the last 12 months for yourself and for me.
Yeah, it's kind of looking back to look forward, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely feel more confident and happier thanks to you, actually, Dani. So,
cheers, buddy. Likewise.
Well, have a great day.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
You've been listening to the Creative Boom podcast with your host, Katie Cowan. Thanks to our sponsor Shillington, the original graphic design bootcamp that has helped students achieve award-winning portfolios and land incredible jobs in as little as 3 months. To find out more, go to shillingtoneducation.com. If you're enjoying the show, please don't forget to subscribe or leave us a review. We drop new episodes every Monday. You can find all the links and more via creativeboom.com/podcast. See you next time, when my guest will be the visual artist and author, Oliver Jeffers.